please welcome to the East Texas Now desk, Congressman Pete Sessions. Representative, thank you so much for joining us here on East Texas Now.
Thank you very much, and I'm delighted to be with you, and it's an opportunity for me on a Friday afternoon before I get out of here to say hi.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so we are going to break down, obviously, President Joe Biden giving his State of the Union address last night. Now, we know that President Biden laid some blame on House Republicans for not passing immigration legislation. So what was your response to that when you heard it?
Well, the response, and I'm going to go a little bit higher if I can first very quickly. This is the 24th State of the Union that I have attended. The State of the Union comes as a result of the Constitution of the United States. Not only acknowledges that the president needs to be heard from, but also that Congress needs to extend that invitation. And so the Speaker did. What took place last night was something that I've never seen in the over 30 years that I've been watching these, and that was that it really turned into more of a political pep rally or convention rather than the deliberate, honest evaluation of the president, who was talking to not only members of Congress to challenge them, but also was speaking to our allies and friends and the American people about the challenges, about the direction that he would like to see us go. And it was more a what I would consider to say an amateur match where he took on the Supreme Court right off the bat. He took on Donald Trump right off the bat, alluded to both of them by name, and then took on the United States Congress rather than coming and saying reasons why we need to and why it's important to the country. So I was, and I think most of my colleagues were a little bit surprised that this is what took place. Now, on the high side, it is obvious to us, we wanted to see the president do well. On a big world stage like this, the president needed to do well, and I think he proved, at least to me, that his mental fitness is there. But the wisdom that he exhibited about making it all political and a fight, I had some problems with.
So, of course, there was a lot of conversation, and I say conversation because there was a bit of back and forth there during the State of the Union speech regarding immigration legislation and, you know, how some, parties present there thought that there was a lack thereof, right? So what does immigration legislation look like to you? Would you support that passage prior to the election?
Well, in fact, I am for us finding common ground. The way the president has now constructed people coming to this country illegally, some 10 million people at least over 3 years, unfettered access to this country by criminal drug gangs, being targeted by China, fentanyl deaths, problems with overrunning cities, rule of law, police officers, the cost, and all these things when added together. We need to come up with a plan. We need to come up with one way to look at it. But the president wanted us to sign on to a bill that would allow 1 million more people to come in that have not been vetted. We have no background check. There's no requirement that they would go through a naturalization ceremony. It is a mess. And so as a Texan, granted from Central Texas, I don't think it's a good deal for the country. What we do have is a 1 million person that come to this country every year that go through a legitimate process, learn about this country, they learn about their responsibilities, they make better citizens.
So there is a Democratic talking point, right, that Republicans will not pass immigration legislation bill because it would be a win, or at least seen as a win for President Biden and Democrats in general. And then it kind of takes away Republicans' narrative during the election session. So what is your response to that claim?
Well, it takes away nothing. The President of the United States is the one that initiated it. It is an untenable situation with 100,000 people more dying of drug overdoses in this country. Criminal gangs roving the city of New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, all these cities having a very difficult time. No, it's not a narrative that's bad on the Republican Party. What this president and the Democratic Party is doing is the negative part. We're simply trying to take us back to where we can deal with the issue rather than the crisis that we're in.
Now, I had made mention a little earlier in our conversation here that yesterday did seem like a back and forth, specifically, of course, in regards to Marjorie Taylor Greene. So she's getting a lot of attention and coverage for her words and her actions yesterday during the State of the Union speech. So what is, as a fellow congressman, do you feel that Taylor Greene was acting appropriately both before and then during the State of the Union?
Well, I'll answer your question because it's really a logical question, and that is, should she have been wearing a MAGA hat, Make America Great Again hat? No, probably not. And I agree that her over-the-top appearance was bad, but she became an issue for the country when the president mispronounced and he was yelling. And there was a sensitivity to the death of this young woman at the hands of a perpetrator who was here illegally, who came in under this Democrat plan to just let people in this country. When the president yelling her name rather than with sensitivity, that brought the emotion out of her. Now, did the president recover? Yes, the president recovered. The president took the button which she had given him and looked at it and then got the name right. So while it's an unfortunate circumstance, the president is the one who misstated her name, yelled about her, and had not given remorse until Marjorie Taylor Greene took him on. I don't like that at all, but I understood it. I think otherwise the behavior on Republicans was normal or regular. The president and his use of facts was misstated, and you're going to have trouble getting away with that.
Moving beyond the State of the Union address now, Senator Katie Britt gave the response to the State of the Union address. Were you able to watch this? And if so, what was your reaction?
Yeah, I'm aware of her. She is a rising new star. She is our brand new senator out of Alabama. Likewise, a Texan gave our Hispanic or Spanish response. And Monica did a great job, as well as I think Katie. They couched, I think, the ideas that we have in terms of preparing Americans and our country to be better prepared for the future. And it cannot be accomplished if we have runaway high prices, if we have runaway big government spending, and if we have a border which brings criminals across at the demise of our law enforcement agencies.
Again, Congressman Sessions, we thank you for being here on the East Texas Now desk. Now, before you go, can you tell us a little bit about some of the work that you are doing currently in Washington right now?
Yes, I can. We have come up with what I think is a very great plan where we gathered together. This district, Texas 17, that I serve, is very much a rural district, which counts on not only agriculture, but the conditions underneath it, wheat, cattle, all sorts of crops. And we have come up with what we believe is a moving forward answer to immigration on behalf of ag and ag producers and ag communities. And we're getting that out today to the Texas Farm Bureau, to the Texas and Southwestern cattle raisers, and to the wheat producers and cotton, which are apparent winners in our district. This district produces about half of what it produces goes overseas to support trade. And so it's very important as commodities to this country and to the world. Secondly, I've got a amazing healthcare alternative. It's a plan. It does not defeat anything, but it allows people who do not have coverage or who are undercovered to receive the benefits that come from having a large group plan, help from the government that is parity right with employer provided health care. And I look forward to talking about that.
Absolutely. Once again, Representative Congressman Pete Sessions from Texas District 17. Sir, thank you once again for joining us here on East Texas Now. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Have a good afternoon.